Jai Mother. Charanam Sharanam Ramambige, Charanam Sharanam Trayambage. At the feet of Divine Mother Sree Rama Devi by Mrs. T.N.K Nair. The Divine Ministry Audio Book Part 7D. With intense feeling, Mother then started the chanting of Ram Nam. The whole assemblage took up the chanting, merged in a harmonious oneness. We felt we were on the threshold of another Ramarajya, and Mother, the divine guide who would bring peace upon earth. Mother, who was still in power, offered a beautiful garland at the holy memorial shrine, and we followed her and devoutly offered flowers at the shrine, still chanting Ram Nam. At Mother's command, we observed silence and inner prayers for a few minutes. As the concluding song, we sang Bharat Mata Ki Jai with Mother, while she stood in our midst as Bharat Mata personified. Feelings of loyalty and love for the motherland surged in all hearts. A vision beckoned as we sat assembled in the land's end of India, in the precincts of her great son's hallowed memory. We saw then India's oncoming awakening in the future to Satya and Dharma. It may happen tomorrow, in a decade or a century, but that it would happen was certain. Then as now, this is India's destiny, and in Mother we saw the divine pilot who would carry us across the stormy Bhavasagara to the shores of eternal peace. All around us the seas rolled and murmured in joyous welcome to Mother, offering foam-decked bouquets to the sacred feet. Returning to the house, Mother's heart still dwelt on Mahatmaji, and she told us of an early incident. It was during her sadhana, and Mahatmaji had visited that town. Merged as she was in her rigorous sadhana and demanding household duties, no thought of the outside world intruded into her mind. She never went out of the house unless there was imperative need. But when Bhagavan spoke of Mahatmaji's visit, suddenly an intense urge welled up to see that noble soul. Bhagavan was only too glad to fulfill her wish, and from a veranda in a friend's house, Mother watched the procession with Mahatmaji in the midst. No action of Mother was meaningless. As Mother related the incident, I realized the urge on Mother's part was the love and compassion of that divine heart that wished to silently reach out and bless the great son of India. The next day, morning of the 5th, a bhajan was arranged at Kanyakumari temple. The group from Trivandrum sat in the forecourt and began the bhajan. The shrine, the surroundings, and the pathway were decorated with flowers, garlands, and deepams to welcome Mother. Looking back, I can see how, like different links in the chain of her destined work, each event had its own impact. In the working of these divine beings, there is no wrong note. There is only continuous divine harmony as each chapter concludes and another one begins. Mother has said that in every act, word, and face of an avatar, there is underlying meaning accomplishing the purpose of the advent. Even though we have heard this from the Mother, still unless we rise to exalted heights, free of the touch of ego, we cannot imbibe or understand the full glory of Mother's life. In the sanctum sanctorum of the temple, decked in flowers and ornaments, the goddess Kanyakumari shone in all her radiant glory. She stood in the glow of 1,000 deepams, effulgent with exquisite loveliness, yet austere as the Devi of Tapas. For in ancient lore, it is said that Devi performed severe tapas to wed Shiva. 3 miles away at Suchindram, a great temple of Shiva still stands in all its ancient splendor. It is said a great feast was prepared for the wedding, but the Lord did not appear. So the goddess turned herself into the beautiful idol, and all the food prepared for the feast turned into the multicolored sands which can be seen even today. There is even sand that looks like grains of rice. High walls surround the temple. With a garland in one hand, a face that is girlish and glows with beauty, the Vigraha of the goddess is unique. Thousands flock here for worship daily. On full moon day, Shraddha is offered to departed souls on the seashore. The great door of the temple facing the sea is kept closed always. There is a legend attached to that also. The story goes that in ancient days, a wondrous diamond of great brilliance adorned the Devi's forehead. One night, a ship that had lost its way saw a distant speck of light and, thinking it was a lighthouse, followed the light and approached the land. The light was none other than the gem on Devi's forehead. Dazzled by its beauty, they stole it from the Vigraha and sailed away in the night. A great storm arose and the ship sank with all on board. It is said Devi came in a dream to the pujari and commanded him to close the door, a command faithfully obeyed even to this day. It was a soul-entrancing sight to see the beautiful Devi, the sparkle of her smile vying with her ornaments. And was it just our imagination, or did she shine even more when Mother entered the temple? Mother was received with all honor. Approaching the inner shrine and coming face to face with the goddess, Mother was transported to Samadhi. Then we witnessed a new bhava in Mother. The apparent motherliness vanished for the moment, and Mother's face became smaller, reflecting the sweetness of Kanyakumari. Her face had the luster, and even the posture was that of the goddess. The divine pair stood each shining more perfect in the radiance of their divine oneness. We felt the twin abodes of Shakti had unified in one supreme power. Our voices rose up in songs of Devi Kanyakumari, and the assemblage was immersed in that hymnal praise. Coming down from the Mahabhava, yet still in an indrawn bhava, Mother left for her residence at the end of the bhajan. Mother continued to be in that bhava, and she took hardly any food. That evening, a talk had been arranged at the seashore. Many new devotees and people who lived nearby had gathered. As soon as Mother arrived, everyone clustered around her, wrapped in the peace of her presence. Then her words brought us back to our surroundings. The path of jnana leading to self-realization was expounded step by step with fervor and force. Going from jnana to bhakti, Mother continued, "What power abides in prayer, rising from hearts afire with God love? In the raging storm of samsara, beset on all sides by the lightning changes of sorrow and happiness, prayer is the instinctive cry for succor from man to his Maker. In the beginning, the power of prayer is not fully awakened or experienced. Delusion debars you from faith and affinity with God. But as you progress in sadhana, the power of prayer blossoms and becomes the golden link between God and you. Devotion floods the heart, the mind waves subside. Step by step, prayer creates communion and affinity with the divine. Every moment, nay, the whole life becomes a prayer to God. Like different links in a chain, all the requisite spiritual qualities developed by inner prayer, viveka, vairagya, mumukshutva, tranquility of mind, all come one after another by the power of prayer. All obstacles in the inner path melt away. Even past vasanas of numberless births are washed away by prayer. Mother assures you that by prayer you can rise from the depths of samsara to the heights of perfection. Charanam Sharanam Ramambige, Charanam Sharanam Trayambage, Charanam Sharanam Ramambige, Charanam Sharanam Trayambage, Charanam Sharanam Ramambige, Charanam Sharanam Trayambage. Jai Mata.